So we are going to launch the new topic and a new project, Group 1 Mains. And I am Ramesh Naidu, introducing myself. I am Ramesh Naidu, History faculty, teaching for civils, Group 1 and Group 2 examinations at various DAs. And my topic will be now Indian history as well as AP history. Let me start with regional history so that you will be acquainted with the new topics. Since Indian history has been there in your curriculum and syllabus for many years, especially below 10th class, if you are the humanities student, it may be there at intermediate and graduate and postgraduate courses. But regional history is a novice topic, a new topic. So let me start with regional history, AP history. The age of Shathavahanas. That's the first topic. Age of Shathavahanas. Shathavahanas, it's the name of a ruling class. It's the name of a ruling family that ruled South India, that unified South India politically as well as culturally. What is the significance of Shathavahan dynasty in the history of Deccan? It brought about the political and cultural unity for the first time in South India. It had achieved the political and cultural unity for the first time in South India. That is the significance of the ruling class, namely Shathavahanas. Who are Shathavahanas? Earlier, they are the feudatories under Mauryans. They are the feudatories of Mauryans, principal feudatories of Mauryans, subordinate rulers to Mauryans. As and when the Mauryan Empire was disintegrated, then dismantled, these Shathavahanas asserted the independence in Deccan and founded a great empire, namely Shathavahan Empire. Okay, so we have seen the significance existence of Shathavahan dynasty in South India. There are so many tiny kingdoms existing in South India, and these Shathavahanas brought the entire Deccan under their control, and in that way they achieved the political unity as well as cultural unity. That is the prominent significance of Shathavahanas. Whenever we are referring to the age of Shathavahanas, the first and foremost thing we will have to touch upon is their contribution to South Indian history. What is their contribution to South Indian history? They have achieved successfully the political and cultural unity for the first time in South India. And they introduced Aryanization in South India. What is Aryanization or Sanskritization? That means Vedic culture. They have introduced Vedic culture in South India, and which was fulfilled by Pallavas later, in the later times. Right. So many ruling families existing in the country as well as in the regional kingdoms. They'll have to be classified in several segments. For instance, take for instance age of Shathavahanas. It has to be classified into several subunits or subtopics. How it is possible? So the age of Shathavahanas can be classified into some subtopics, namely the political history of Shathavahanas, or the political system of Shathavahanas, the economic conditions during the age of Shathavahanas is also very prominent, the social and religious conditions during the period of Shathavahanas is another segment we will have to deal with, the cultural contribution of Shathavahanas. What are the topics to be studied under cultural contribution? The topics prominently to be studied under the topic of cultural contribution are art and architecture, monuments, what are the monuments they have left as an indelible impression in the cultural history of Deccan, painting, language and literature, so these are the topics to be studied under the title of cultural contribution, and sculpture also very, very important. In the sculptural history of Deccan, the age of Shathavahanas is really prominent and striking. The reason behind that, they have introduced Amravati School of Art, which is best studied under the topic of Buddhism. Amravati School of Art is not only the costlier one, but also a living art, as it could showcase the thing. The animals with movement can also be showcased, can be presented in the beautiful manner under Amravati School of Art. In such a manner, in such a way, we can certify it as a living art, a living tradition. It can communicate the human feelings and human emotions. It can represent the human emotions and can showcase the movements of the animals and birds as well. In such a way, we can qualify it as the living art and the living tradition. And this is also the gift rendered by Shathavahanas in the cultural history of Deccan. So let me start with the first topic under the age of Shathavahanas, political system. What the political system of Shathavahanas is? Political history is different from political system. This is a point, very important point to bear in your mind. Political system is different, it's a different topic. Political history is a different topic. What is political history? Whatever the topic, the way they have fought the battles, the way they have expanded the frontiers of their empire, the way they have celebrated their lives into a literature, and their personal or biographical sketch, whatever it is available now. These topics are to be studied under the title of political history. But fortunately or unfortunately, the political history will not find its place in Group 1 examination. We will have to study political history only for Group 2 examination. That means for objective orientation. Whatever the things we will have to study or we will have to assimilate in Group 1 examination is only the analytical part. Some sort of political system might have been established by Shathavahanas. Going by the references of the age of Shathavahanas, literary evidences or archaeological evidences, we will have to reconstruct what type of political system existed in the age of Shathavahanas. So now the topic will be entirely political system. We will not delve into the topic, namely political history. The topic is entirely the domain of Group 2 examination. Now we don't have anything to deal with Group 2 examination. Now we are dealing only purely Group 1 examination. The Group 1 aspirants always should bear in their mind that political system is more important than political history. Political history don't find any place in Group 1 preparation. But we should know political history because it provides the background with the political system. Let us open the debate on political system. What type of polity existed in the age of Shathavahanas? As I told you earlier, at the onset of the classes, that Shathavahanas are none other than the subordinate rulers to the Mauryans. They followed certain things from Mauryan period, Mauryans, and same time they differed from the political system of Mauryans to some extent. What are they? Here see, Mauryan administration is best known in Indian history for its centralized administrative setup. The hierarchy is completely centralized in Mauryan administration. Contrary to this phenomena, Shathavahanas did not choose the centralized political system. It's not totally centralized. Shathavahanas' political system is not totally centralized. How can you say that Shathavahanas' political system is not totally centralized? We can say with certain elements like the subordinate rulers to Shathavahanas, like Ikshwakus, enjoyed and exercised certain excessive authority also. For instance, Shathavahanas allowed their subordinate rulers, Ikshwakus, to issue the coins in their own names. Generally, it's a general practice everywhere in the entire world, irrespective of the area and the times also. The sovereign ruler only can issue the coins in his name, but not the subordinate rulers. Be it in ancient history or medieval history or anywhere else in the entire world, the general practice, the general trend in ancient and medieval periods are only the sovereign ruler can issue the coins in his name, but not the subordinate rulers. But ironically, the subordinate rulers under Shathavahanas enjoyed certain excessive authorities, like the system is not completely rigid, is not completely centralized. Because they allowed their subordinate rulers, the subordinate officers, the junior officers to enjoy certain liberties within their domain. This is the best example to corroborate the fact that Shathavahanas administrative system is not completely centralized, unlike Mauryans. Another example also with which we can notify that Shathavahanas political system is not completely centralized is the subordinate rulers to Shathavahanas, namely Ikshwakus, they emulated their masters in the way they used their mother's name before their names. They used their mother's name as prefix to their names. For instance, Ikshwakus also. Vasishta Putra Sri Santa Mala, Matari Putra Srivira Purushadatta. So this is nothing but the practice emulated from their masters. Right? So Shathavahanas political system is not completely centralized, revealed by the fact that they have enjoyed certain liberties within their domain, namely issuing their coins in their own names and using their mother's name as their prefix to their names. And some scholars, very few scholars, argue that Shathavahanas political system is not patriarchal. Very few scholars they say, but I don't accept. Shathavahanas political system is completely patriarchal. That is what my contention here. Shathavahanas political system is completely patriarchal. That means the authority flows from the father to the son. The authority descends from the father to the son. In such a case, we can say that it's patriarchal. How can you say that Shathavahanas political system is patriarchal? It is revealed by a very, very famous inscription in the age of Shathavahanas, that is Nausik inscription. Nausik inscription given by Gautami Balasri. Gautami Balasri. Gautami Balasri is none other than the mother of Gautami Putra Satakarni, the most prominent and predominant ruler of the entire age of Shathavahanas. In the family of Shathavahanas, the most prominent ruler is undoubtedly 23rd ruler. His name is Gautami Putra Satakarni, and his mother Gautami Balasri gave Gautami Putra Satakarni. Shathavahanas political system is patriarchal rather than matriarchal. What's the clue left over by Nasik inscription that certifies the fact, and that asserts the fact that Shathavahanas political system is patriarchal? So I am going to give you the evidence taken from Nasik inscription given by Balasri in support of my argument that Shathavahanas political system is patriarchal. I will write here whatever the things that are there in the inscription. Kula Purusha Paramparagata Vipula Rajyam. Just I am taking some writing in Nasik inscription and explaining you that Shathavahanas political system is patriarchal. Kula Purusha Paramparagata Vipula Rajyam. What does it mean? Kula Purusha Paramparagata Vipula Rajyam. This line was there in Balasri's Nasik inscription. What does it mean? What do you understand by the sentence in Gautami Balasri's Nasik inscription? What is the conclusion you can arrive at after reading this inscription? Kula Purusha means father. Kula means not caste here. What is the meaning? The sounds here. Kula means family. Who is the head of the family? Purusha. That means father. Kula Purusha means father. Paramparagata means from one generation to another generation. Vipula Rajyam. That means authority comes from father to son, from one generation to another generation. Then who is the fountain of authority in the family of Shathavahanas? Is none other than the father. If authority flows from the father to son, that means patriarchal system existed. Undoubtedly we can assert that hereditary, the kingship is hereditary, and moreover it is patriarchal. The political system in ancient India, not only in the history of Shathavahanas, completely relied upon Dharma Shastras. Take for instance Guptas, the period of Guptas. Guptas also ruled strictly in accordance with Hindu Dharma Shastras. A chief Purohita is there, used to be there in Gupta's administration, looking after the judicial review, the requirements of judicial review at that time. So now coming back to our topic, the Shathavahanas. And Shathavahanas, they also followed Dharma Shastras, scrupulous as the guidance for the Shatvahana administration. And the ruler, Shatvahana ruler, was assisted by some principal authorities, namely Raja Macha, Viswasa Macha. Who is this Viswasa Macha? Very, very important ruler after the emperor, after Shathvahana emperor, the important ruler is Viswasa Macha. Who is this Viswasa Macha? He is not only a prime minister but also personal secretary to the ruler. Advises the ruler in all the matters related to administration, pertaining to administration. And the post name is Viswasa Macha. Viswasa Macha means prime minister come personal secretary to the emperor. Raja Macha is also a post of great prominence and great eminence next to Viswasa Macha. And Raja Macha used to execute the orders given by the Shathvahana emperor. The principal duty before Raja Macha is nothing but execution of the orders given by the ruler. Besides Viswasa Macha and Raja Macha, several people used to serve the administration at the center. For instance, himself is very much suggestive of the fact that Lekhaka, he writes the orders given by the ruler. He writes, official writer of the orders given by the ruler is Lekhaka. Another important office is Nibandhakara. Who is this Nibandhakara? He maintains the orders given by the ruler. Lekhaka means official writer of the orders given by the ruler. And the person who secures or who protects those orders in the form of record office, his name is Nibandhakara. Nibandhakara was also known as Akshapataka. Akshapataka. And the record office was generally referred at the time as Akshapataka Saka. Akshapataka Saka. Record office at the time was generally referred as Akshapataka Saka. Okay. Besides this officers, some other important officers we'll have to discuss. No need to mention all the officers. Just give some examples, that is enough. For instance, Bandagarika. Bandagarika is a treasury officer in charge of the goods. Treasury officer in charge of goods is called Bandagarika. Heranika. Heranika. He is also a treasury officer, but he is in charge of gold and currency. Okay. So these are the important officers. And Rajagahaka is also very important office. Rajagahaka is a chief collector of taxes. Chief tax collector in the days of Shathavahanas was generally referred as Rajagahaka. Rajagahaka. Okay. The empire Shathvahana was divided into several administrative units, namely Aharas. Aharas. Aharas are none other than the present day states. Equivalent to states, present day states, they are known as Aharas at the time of Shathavahanas. Ahara was ruled by an officer, namely Amacha. Generally, Amacha means minister, but Amacha is not a minister in the age of Shathavahanas. Amacha is a top level civil officer, especially the governor of a state, a province. The province at the time is known as Ahara, the provincial ruler is known as Amacha. I am just giving the examples of some provinces existed during Shathavahanas as they are revealed by the inscriptional evidences or epigraphic evidences. Govardhanahara. Govardhanahara. What is Govardhanahara? Nasik was known as Govardhanahara, Tagarahara, Soparahara, Mamalahara, Shathavahanahara. What is Shathavahanahara? Shathavahanahara is identified as Ballari, present day Ballari. Govardhanahara is identified as present day Nasik. And Shathavahanahara is identified as present day Ballari. So the provincial unit of administration is known as Ahara and the provincial ruler is known as Amacha. Officer on duty, special duty. Officer on special duty was generally referred at the time as Mahamacha. Officer on special duty generally referred as Mahamacha. For instance, Ashokan inscriptions also had the word Dharma Mahamacha, especially fifth major rock edict of Ashoka had direct reference to the word Dharma Mahamacha. Who is Dharma Mahamacha? Dharma Mahamacha is a special officer on the duty of disseminating Dharma. Disseminating means spreading Dharma. If any special duty entrusted to any officer at the top level bureaucracy is known as Mahamacha. For instance, in the age of Shathavahanas, I am setting another example to have good understanding, better understanding about the office Dharma Mahamacha. Second ruler in the line of the rulers of Shathavahanas is Krishna or Kanaha, the brother of Srimukha Satakarni. The first ruler is Srimukha Satakarni and his brother is Krishna or Kanaha. Okay, Krishna appointed a Mahamacha to look after the needs of the Buddhist monks residing in the cave at Nasik. Okay, that means the officer, he was entrusted with the special duty of looking after the needs of the monks, Sramanas, existing in the cave of Nasik. Right. Okay. And the urban centers in the age of Shathavahanas, towns or cities, urban centers in the age of Shathavahanas are known as Nigamas. Urban centers in the age of Shathavahanas are known as Nigamas.